So, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And I'm very, very happy to be here again. Even though it's the second episode in a row, and I do just see... Oh my god. Oh my god. I do just see that I probably should get a little bit more electricity down into my PC so that it won't turn itself off. Very, very complicated fucking saying for just, being like, okay, I just have to plug in my fucking PC because it would die instead. But yeah, we're going ahead with another book summary, and this time another book because I actually already have finished all the other books that I started. Hopefully, I for sure once left something out. That's for sure, That's okay, on the other hand. So I definitely have. But it's totally okay. I won't just cripple or get crippled for doing this. But as you can see, we are going ahead with, or through, actually, we're going through, Thanks 1,000 by Jacob. Yeah, you can see it. Thanks 1,000 by H.A. Jacobs, which is totally, I think, a great book because it's about his journey of thanking every single person he just some kind of interacts with or some kind of encounters, which is totally something that I definitely... Oh, I'm sorry. Which I definitely think is a great way. And this is a really great way to just live your life by just being grateful for everything you get, everything somebody else makes for you, everything that you actually have, and maybe even everything you do not have, because this might just some kind of give you the just really motivation to some kind of try to achieve, what you have wanted or what you just want to have. But I just tweaked a little bit around with my audio settings, which is totally something you should not do. If you're recording anything, if you're just producing anything, if it is working in terms of the sound, just let it be what it is. Don't do anything, just let it be it, because if you just mix something up, you might just fuck the whole fucking episode the next time. This is hopefully not what I did, and I'll go ahead with this book. So, Thanks 1,000 by H.A. Jacobs. So, I hope you can actually read it. I think so. It should be big enough. It's kind of okay for me, but I just can't make it bigger, I think. Okay, I can. Because I never like it when the just really border of the window is just too near to the text. This just really fucks with me while reading the book. I totally think it is. It's even... I do just have to change it up a little bit. Because it is actually... Yeah, I think it's fine. You can see a little bit underneath here, but I think it's fine. I think that's okay. Maybe even making it a little bit bigger here. Yeah, okay, this is also fine, I think. But yeah, so the book in one sentence. Thanks 1,000 by H.A. is about H.A. Jacobs' decision to thank every person involved in making his morning coffee or cup of coffee and the resulting journey that takes him across the globe. I think this is totally a great book because it's something new again. It's not always just the same fucking self-help shit and the same business shit you always just hear, and which could be quite boring, but it is actually a journey. It is actually a story. It's actually maybe even not non-fiction at all. It is okay. It's not. It's definitely non-fiction because it's not a fictional story. I hope, because this would be just incredible to hear it in a perspective where the person actually did what he is talking about, and not like being just some kind of this might happen or whatever. So, the 5 big ideas. Gratitude is the single best predictor of well-being and good relationships. Gratitude emerges from 2 stages of information processing, the affirmation and recognition. Practicing gratitude is challenging because if something is done well for us, the process behind it is largely invisible. And a fourth one is people who say the phrase I am grateful are seen as more genuinely thankful than the people simply say thank you. Oh, something I'm just trying to translate it some kind of into German because I don't know. I think there should be something, something that can equivalent to this, but I don't know. So yeah. So the fifth one is our comfort in life often comes at the expense of others, which I think I can totally see whenever I just think about doing the right thing or doing the easy thing. It's always some kind of thing that you could practically just think in terms of that as well. And I would really invite you to just be like, okay, every time you're doing something or you're not doing something, especially I think when you're not doing something, ask yourself, is this the right thing or is it just the easy thing that I'm doing right now? Is it the thing, if you're actually doing it because it's easy, because you're too bored or too just, lazy to actually do what you should be doing, what would actually be right? But yeah. The Thanks a Thousand summary. One study summarized in Scientific American found that gratitude is the single best predictor of well-being and good relationships, beating out 24 other impressive traits such as hope, love, and creativity. I think gratitude is something very, very important, and being just grateful in your life for having what you have and whatsoever is very important because I do not know if it's scientific or I do not know if it's even proven, but a lot of people, and I also believe in it, say that being grateful is just the emotion that really just overwhelms every single other emotion you can have. Which means that if you're grateful at a certain time, there's no way you can be just angry or sad or just some kind of other negative thing or even, other negative thing because gratefulness is definitely positive. So just it is so strong that there is not the ability or the possibility that there is another just fucking emotion than being grateful in this certain moment. According to Robert Emmons, a psychology professor at UC Davis, grateful living is possible only when we realize that other people and agents do things for us that we cannot do for ourselves. Gratitude emerges from two stages of information processing. The first one is the affirmation, and the second one is the recognition actually. We affirm the good and credit others by bringing it about. In gratitude, we recognize that the source of goodness is outside of ourselves. Gratitude is difficult to maintain. It requires effort and intention because if something is done well for us, the process behind it is largely invisible. It's totally true that being grateful is definitely something you just have to be putting effort in. That's totally true, because we are just living. I think we're just living and we just see and find that everything is so just normal, that we have food is normal, that we have clothing is normal. You just have to have the perspective. I think on the other side, if you have the perspective that a lot of people are just poor or poorer than you are actually, and a lot of people do have nothing, I think you're definitely more grateful on certain moments, not all the time, because we don't think about it. I think because it is definitely largely invisible, and then we just can't see it. If it was standing all the fucking day everywhere, and we would just always see the fucking word, only the word actually, I think we all would be a little bit more grateful. So actually, I could just paint somewhere on my wall the word gratefulness. I think this would actually be one of the words that I kind of stand for, besides patience and besides maybe other things. But I think gratefulness or being grateful is one of the just the feelings you should embrace, you should just have in your life. And hello, why isn't it working? But can I do it now? Okay, never mind. The screen is there. Is it only working when I'm... Am I now? Yeah, it's only working when I'm in the window. Never mind. So yeah, it definitely takes effort. That's the whole point of what I what I wanted to say actually. So Scott Barry Kaufman or Kaufman or whatever you pronounce it in German, in English, an author and a researcher that taught positive psychology and gratitude at the University of Pennsylvania, told Jacobs, gratitude has a lot to do with holding on to a moment as strongly as possible. It's closely related to mindfulness and savoring. Savoring? Is it savoring? I hope it is. Savoring. I think it's savoring. So it's SAVORING. Gratitude can shift your perception of time and slow it down. It can make your lives pretty ANNOYS, ANNOYANCES, whatever this even means, dissolve away at least for a moment. And that's totally true. And I would just really invite you to be just in this second, in this moment that you are, just be grateful for 3 things you're having in your life. Whether it's having clothes, whether it's having just, being in the position you are right, having a great business or whatever. I just really want to invite you to just be a little bit more grateful, just maybe even write down 3 things that you're just for the now or in the now grateful for. And I think you can definitely feel that then time suddenly stops and you just think and you just start thinking, you just recognize, okay, there are things that I can be grateful for or that I am grateful for. And definitely this is also, and just really enjoy that he actually points it out or says that that you can actually kind of recognize it by the time stopping and so on and so on. That's totally the truth, I think. I feel it always when I'm just being grateful as well. So Jacob invites readers to make a concerted effort to acknowledge all the good things they take for granted. When it's effective, gratitude should be a two-way street. It should be helpful to both the thanker and the thankee. It's not just a self-help tool, it should brighten other lives as well. You can't be like, okay, if I'm just helping myself to be more grateful and just helping myself for being more grateful and then because of that being happier or just enjoying my life more, you can also say, okay, this kind of contributes to the lives of others as well, because if you are happier, you might just treat the others more or better, and so on and so on. But I think they just mean it in a different context or in a different way that you should actually not say, okay, thank you, but I'm grateful for you just doing this for me. Maybe this is even meant. I don't know. So Jacob quotes a Wharton study that concluded that people who say the phrase "I am grateful" are seen as more genuinely thankful than when people simply say "thank you." Habitat for Humanity co-founder Millard Fuller once said, "It's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than to think your way into a new way of acting." So it's easier to act your way. I just have to show you that because I now have the possibility and the ability. Where did I actually stop? So Habitat for Humanity co-founder blah blah blah. It's easier. Can I actually show it to you? It's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking than to think your way into a new way of acting. I think this just totally says or totally tells you that just thinking about it and just kind of moving the way you're thinking, just changing the way you're thinking, the way you are thinking about certain things, if it's your life, if it's others' life, if it's just some kind of an action that happened or something, a scenario that happened or something that happened in your life some years ago, could also be the thing. If you just change the way you think about that, it is easier than to this is fucking hard. So it's easier to act your way into a new way of thinking, totally, than to think your way into a new way of acting. So, which means I think just changing your thinking and your how you think about certain things is way easier than actually thinking about changing the way you're acting when something happens. Could he say this? Could this even be possible? So I think the bottom line of this actually is that that you actually should be that actually thinking about certain things and changing your thinking is the easiest way to change how your life is and whatsoever. So you might not have, you might not be able to change the way you're acting in terms of getting more money, but if you think about your life in another way, you might feel like, okay, you have enough money. And I think this is totally what this text just wants to say. And so one realization Jacobs had while going through his gratitude project was that his comfort often comes at the expense of others. Wow, yeah, I think a problem that I'm just now stumbling across is that this is actually the end of this book, which is totally something that's not too good, to be honest. It was a great book, but no, never mind. 1 second. So that his comfort often comes at the expense of others. I do believe in this. I do think a lot of people just would do certain things because they some kind of maybe think that people will expect it from them, even though they are not feeling quite comfortable with what they're doing at this certain moment. So this is actually also something that I do. I think I do quite not a lot. I just often do what I just want to do and give a fuck about what people think. Definitely what people think. But yeah. So Jacobs recounts spending one morning reading out a list of horrible diseases he didn't have as a reminder of his good health. It's much easier to be grateful for a good thing, a raise at work, a delicious meal, than for the lack of a bad thing. That's totally true, and I think this, yeah. It is always the thing, like, is the glass half full or if it is half empty. There's always this kind of debate a lot of people think about. Definitely has, at my point of view, something to do with optimism, and if you're an optimist or not. I hope you are. I hope you will get one, because just being a pessimist is just really something that's so fucked. Because if just also or only seeing the negative in your life, there might only be just negative things, because it makes sense. If you just focus on the negative all the fucking time, what you get is the negative, and vice versa. But yeah. So then, for the lack of a bad thing, writes Jacobs. So, but both are important. Note from Sam: this echoes negative visualization and gratitude practice William B. Irvine discusses in his book A Guide to the Good Life. Maybe we'll check it out afterwards, so right after this summary, because I do just have 12 minutes left that I have to use. But yeah, so recommended reading. If you like Thanks 1,000, you might also like A Guide to the Good Life, The Ancient Art of Stoic Joy. What is even Stoic? Stoic? Yeah, it's definitely the same in German as well, which is always the thing that I like. But we shouldn't complain. I shouldn't complain. The Happiness Advantage, which is also a book that I've been featuring on this channel and or on this podcast as well. Unfortunately, you might be able to find it, you might not, because I actually didn't name, I think, the episodes like this, Happiness Advantage or something like this. Something you should not do. And the Atomic Habits, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results by James Clear. Yeah. It was a great book. I think it's totally great, but I think the actual book itself is way better than the summary right there. I totally believe in this because this just, gave you just the really insights of what he might have been thinking or what he was thinking, and the really just few things that he learned. I do just think that he learned a few other things, not only these that were pointed out in this episode or in this summary. But I think the actual journey, and I hope that he's some kind of, talked about or was talking about or is talking about in the book, about his journey, what people he encountered, how people reacted to him being more thankful for what they're doing for him, and if he was maybe interviewing a lot of strangers as well, which would totally be something interesting as well. But so I think totally the book itself might be just way better than, well, let's see. I'll give you this. I will just look up. Yeah. This is a book. This is a philosophy book, and that I was going through on my own because I was like, okay, I might get some cool little philosophy just quotes from there, or philosophy ideas for my posts, so that I can actually just post them and to just make people inspired or make people feel inspired. But the total thing that happened to me while just going through this is that I actually did not understand any fucking shit that's standing in here, because it's kind of written. I don't know if it's kind of written in an old way, is it's kind of written in just a way that I do not understand. I don't know. Everything could be possible, but the thing is, I didn't understand quite anything. But I remember that there actually was. It wasn't psychology. Let's see. Thanks 1,000. I would like to show you that, but I can't because you always see my fucking address when I'm just doing anything on fucking Amazon. But this is actually featured on TED as well. So TED Talks, I would definitely just invite you to go through not a lot, but a few TED Talks as well, because I think it's a great platform to just get inspired by actually people speaking, by actual people who just have a lot of ideas, have a lot of insights, have a lot of just experience in life, and so on and so on. And it's totally a great way to just get knowledge and get inspired and so on through a visual way, because on YouTube you often may find some, kind of not well produced videos, kind of not well produced just some kind of speeches. But on TED you can totally be sure that everything is fine, that you might even have the proper subtitles if you need them, if you want them, and so on. Yeah, and there's also the TED Talks website, where you might be thinking, or might be just might be finding might be finding a way more speeches than on YouTube. Yeah. So thanks 1,000, a gratitude journey, which is actually a TED Books. The hardcover costs $12 hardly. The Kindle version around $10, and the audio $20. It has totally great. It has only 33 reviews. But most of them are definitely positive. Some 3-star reviews, some 4-star, some 5-star, one 1-star review. But the thing is, actually something that Seth Godin said, that he never buys his books by going through the reviews and seeing what the reviews say. And I think this is important, and this is also something that you should be doing, and which is totally something that might be good for you. The thing is, if you're like, okay, you do not have that much money for buying too many books, and you really have to be sure that the books you are reading are actually great, and you actually can get something from them, I think you should just go through maybe a few maybe sites and or forums and or blogs where you can just find the best books or something. I know that Forbes has often quite great lists, and a lot of other companies or famous platforms, but so that you can actually be sure, okay, this is a book where you can get a lot from it. But most of the time I would say, okay, if you just type something into just Amazon, you will totally get the books that are quite the best and the best ranked and whatsoever, and the most people bought. So therefore, just maybe not going to the 100th page of Amazon might be just the way to go, but I understand that a lot of people, and this was actually something that I quite thought about it on myself, because I do not want to waste too much money on buying unnecessary books. So if I just really buy them, I just want to be sure that I can get something from them and get something out of them. So that I just make sure that there is something in it and something that I can just get something from. But yeah, maybe we can find a quick, not a quick, but a read for the next episode. Um, da, 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 but yeah, I hope you're doing quite great. Yeah, to just come to it because I do have the time right now. If there's anything you want to ask me, if there's anything you want to kind of contact me about, even if it was something that I just talked shit about, something that just some kind of bothered you, you can just totally feel free to, yeah, either DM me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Tumblr as well. I'm not that often on this platform, but you could on Twitter, Facebook, and or Instagram, or here on YouTube. It's definitely also a great way to just comment. I will totally see it. I will always see it. On Instagram, it's a little bit strange because I do just get every single notification. I just turned it on because I think like, okay, something I want, something I do just be like, okay, I just want to see what the people are saying, if there's something relevant, if there's something just really how should I say, very important, so they can actually kind of interact right now with these people. And or you could actually email me as well. You can maybe find my email on Instagram, which is also a way to go. But yeah, even I think I should actually check my emails a little bit more. Maybe some people actually, emailing me could definitely be true. But yeah. This is a really problematic period right now because I didn't think you just always see there's some kind of bar on the side, right, where you can scroll, and this really kind of indicates how long this article is, and I've not seen and I've quite not just kept attention to it while I was going through the other one thing or the other book. But yeah, this is actually the book Rejection Proof that I'm quite often talking about. It is the book written by some kind of an Asian, totally Asian, I hope Asian author, which is totally a great book. It's about getting rejected and why getting rejected has quite nothing to do with you, and why rejection may have something to do with your product not fitting this person, your product may not be good enough yet, your product may not look that good, or the people actually being not such in a good mood in this certain moment. It totally doesn't have to do with anything you personally. Maybe, okay, the thing is, it could actually be like, they just think like you're an ugly piece of shit and therefore they don't buy stuff from you. But the thing is, this is only, I think, when your product is really not that good, or it's not fitting and it's not quite solving the problem of, or the problem it should actually solve. I think then it might come up to just really external things, or things that particularly do not have to do with the product itself. But most of the times this is really a book, not really a book, but really a thing that solves a problem very, very good, and people don't like it. Either you've just talking to the wrong people, or or you're just choosing the wrong target audience. Maybe this whole audience doesn't actually need your product. But most of the time, just really, I would say 80%, it doesn't have to do with anything. Doesn't have to do anything with you personally. And but I do just still understand, which is I think also something that I quite feel like always when kind of getting critiqued or criticized for something, when I'm doing something cool, some design, it is always something at my point of view, and this quite shouldn't be the case. But the thing is, it kind of feels personal, but it shouldn't be the case because even though you might spend a lot of hours, a lot of things, a lot of thoughts, a lot of your personality into these things, they quite do not have to do anything with you. So they're just something external. They're not a part of your body. They're not a part of your soul, maybe, because it's, with creative processes and creative things, it's always some kind of a strange thing, some kind of complicated thing. Because I do understand that people get personal when that thing get just critiqued, or people don't like their stuff. with not liking them, you should totally not be pissed, because it definitely has nothing to do with you being you, with whatever, but they just might not like your art. They might just not like your picture you painted. They might not just like your design. This will just happen a lot. And the customers are actually, in general, pretty difficult, because they always think about, like, what they like. And the thing is, it doesn't care if they like it. Their audience, if they have an audience, or if they have customers, they should like it. And if not, then it's a problem. But often working with clients is something that's totally hard to do and totally difficult to do, to really just be able to actually give them the best and just making sure that they are happy. I do not want to say that all customers are like this, but I think no, I'm not going to be negative about this. Sometimes it will just be like, the customer might not be just that happy with the result it is, and yeah. But I think unless you just really are able to provide something for this particular customer, and you might not lose too much money, which totally might be the case, even because of, whatever. But yeah, I think this is it, to just kind of let it just turn out like this good, what it was. I think it's totally great. The episode before was great. This episode was great. This is totally nice to have. If just the episodes went great and everything is great and whatsoever, is always a great feeling. But with that being said, I hope you have the best health, wealth, happiness, and success. But do not still forget about your legacy and about giving back to the people, because this is also pretty important. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day and or night, and I'll see you tomorrow.